Grab something to sit on if you want to. I'm a little bit nervous because I'm wearing some of the slippery leggings with my mic pack on, but my shirt is over it, so hopefully no mic drops this afternoon. Find your tall seat. Let your hands rest onto your legs. And we'll take a moment to land here with breath, with presence, awareness. And just take note of how you're feeling, what's been going on. Allowing any thoughts or emotions that do come up to inform you of what may be going on under the surface. Things that we weren't aware of that are still lingering, or things that we're choosing to ignore for the time being. Knowing that sometimes they do come up during our yoga practice, as we tend to perhaps first distract ourselves with movement, but then start to get toward that clearer, more peaceful state where we may realize things that we didn't think would come up. Honoring this time and space and allowing yourself to honor whatever does come up in your practice. Maybe it's discomfort with stillness. Maybe it's not wanting to move much. Or maybe it's the desire to move more. Why do we feel this way? Maybe there's a reason. Maybe it's just our current mood. And depending on how you've been feeling, how we've been doing, if you'd like, you're welcome to set an intention for this practice. Something that can coincide with things you already know. Maybe we don't always love stillness, or maybe we miss having music during class, or maybe you're playing your own. And just seeing what shows up, knowing that we can modify, reword, or completely change this intention when you need to. But allow this to be an antidote or a remedy to what's been going on. Allowing your movement to follow this intention in energy, in mindset, in style. However you can devote this practice to this intention. And bow your head to your chest to seal in this intention. Blinking the eyes open, please take the head up. And we'll spin, if you're not already, so that the feet are facing the short end of the mat, perhaps the front of the mat. Soles of the feet together, diamond pose. We'll take a couple rounds of seated cat-cow, hooking the hands onto the front of the knees and the front of the shins. As you inhale, lift the chest, shoulder blades, pull back, seated cow pose. As you exhale, take the knees toward one another, curl the spine back, seated cat. Knees wide, inhale, lift the chest, seated cow pose, shoulder blades draw back. Exhale, round, seated cat, exhale. Inhale, cow pose, lift the chest. Cat pose, exhale, round back, navel hugs. We'll do one more of each and then fold. Cow pose, lift. Knees wide, cat pose, hug back. Forwards to cow pose, and from here we'll fold, hinging from hip joints. Walk the hands to the ankles, the toes, or past. And walk the hands over to the left in front of left shin, just inside left knee. Breathing here, right hip and knee can relax. Hands walk over to the right in front of right shin, inside right knee and left hip. Stay relaxed. Hands back to the center, back to diamond pose. And sitting up, walk the hands back, take the knees toward one another and shift forwards onto hands and knees. Come into tabletop, please. As you inhale, lift the chest to cow pose, shoulder blades back, heart forwards. Child's pose, hips back toward heels. Hug the navel in as you release hips toward heels. Inhale forwards to cow pose. Lift the chest, shoulder blades down the back. Child's pose, exhale back. Inhale forwards to cow. This time, cat pose, exhale round, navel hugs under. Inhale back to cow pose. Child's pose back. Forwards back to cow. Cat pose, exhale round. Back to cow pose. Child's pose back. This time adding down dog. Inhale forwards to cow. Cat pose, exhale round, navel under. Inhale back to cow pose. Tuck the toes, move back to downward facing dog. Adjusting your stance if you need to, pedaling or maintaining stillness through the lower half of the body. Through this beginning series, we'll take 3 breaths in each down dog. Next inhale, knees to the floor, back to cow pose, lift the chest. Cat pose, exhale round. Inhale back to cow. Hips back, child's pose. Forwards to cow pose. Cat pose, exhale. Back to cow. Down dog for 3 breaths. After your exhale, walk, step, or hop the feet forwards. Come into a half lift at the top of the mat. Shoulder blades draw back as heart lifts forwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, little bend in the knees, raise all the way up, hands overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Sun A followed by the same series. And we'll add on. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Fold, plant the hands, move back to plank or a kneeling plank. Keep the elbows hugged into rib cage, lower down, chest forwards, thumbs back by lowest ribs. Inhale, low cobra, shoulders back, elbows pull back. Exhale, child's pose, hips back toward heels. Inhale, forwards, cow pose, lift the chest. Cat pose, exhale round, navel hugs under. Inhale back to cow. Down dog. Not staying quite yet. Inhale your right leg back to 3-legged dog. Round the knee toward the nose, scoop the navel in, move the shoulders forwards over wrists. Inhale back up 3 legs. Down dog, release to the floor. Left leg, inhale, extend back 3 legs. Round, knee toward nose, navel under, shoulders forwards. Inhale, back up 3 legs. Down dog, release. This time, stay for 3 breaths. After your exhale, walk, step, or hop forwards, half lift at the top of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, raise all the way up, hands overhead. Hands to heart center. Inhale, arms raise. Forward fold. Half lift. Fold, plant the hands, move back, plank or kneeling plank. Lower, take your vinyasa if you'd like, coming into up dog or a higher cobra. Child's pose, hips back toward heels. Inhale forwards, cow pose, lift the chest. Cat pose, exhale round. Back to cow pose. Tuck the toes, down dog. Inhale, right leg back to three-legged dog with both elbows. Right knee to right elbow, exhale. Inhale, lift up. Twist right knee to left elbow under the torso, exhale. Inhale, back up, three legs. Down dog, release. Other leg, left leg, inhale, back, three legs. Left knee to left elbow, same side. Inhale, lift up. Twist left knee to right elbow, exhale. Inhale, lift, three legs. Down dog, release, stay for 3 breaths. Breathing with the same purpose as though we were moving, even though we are still. After your exhale, walk, step, or hop forwards. Come back to a half lift the top of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, raise all the way up. Hands overhead. Hands to heart center. Shift your weight into the left foot, left leg. Bend the right knee up toward the height of the hip, single leg stance. Lifting through the top of the leg, try to keep the torso lifted so we're not leaning back, but lifting through hip flexors in the right knee. Release right foot back to the floor. Shift your weight into the right leg. Bend left knee up toward the height of the hip. And release the left foot back to the floor. Left foot lands firm to the ground. Inhale, arms up overhead and release last 3 fingers, pointers up. Point up and over to the left, curve long through the right side of the body. Right foot still anchors as the hips shift to the right. Curving through whole right plane of the body, keeping the right shoulder opening, but right ribs hugging back into the abdomen. Inhale, point up. Point up and over to the right. Exhale, left side long, left ribs in, but lifting open through left shoulder. Inhale, point up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to half lift. Fold, plant the hands, step your right leg back, kneeling lunge. Keep the hands to the ground or onto blocks. Keep the hips lunging forwards, left knee bends forwards. If it passes the toes or if the left heel lifts off the floor, slide the left foot in front to keep it anchored. Bend the right knee, little hamstring curl, bringing right heel toward right hip. And toward does not have to mean to. It can be a very minor lift away from the floor. Still breathing. Release right toes back to the floor. We're going to stand up onto the right knee. So if you need to, grab a very thin supportive pillow, a towel, a blanket. Pivot, walk your hands to the right, standing up onto right knee and grounding the left sole of the foot to the floor. So we might need to walk it away or take it closer. Or maybe it's really forward, maybe it's really far behind. Find your stance for gate pose. Slide the left hand down the left leg. Reach the right arm up and over. Again, ribs stay in so we're not back bending. We're not folding. We're staying in the same plane. Inhale, lift up. From here, pivot on your right knee again. Plant the hands at the back of your mat. So we're coming into tabletop facing the wrong direction. Tabletop facing the back of the mat. Tuck the toes, move back to down dog. Walk, step, or hop forwards to what is now the top of your mat, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up, hands overhead. Hands to heart center. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Fold, plant the hands, step left leg back, kneeling lunge. Right foot can inch forwards, making sure right heel is solid into the ground. Curling left hamstring, take left heel toward left hip, bringing in more of a stretch into left quad, left hip flexor perhaps. And release left toes to the floor. Walk your hands to the left. We'll pivot again. So we should be facing the same direction. Kneeling on to the left knee, right foot down to the floor. And again, adjust where your stance needs to be. Sliding right hand down, right leg, left arm up and over. Left ribs in, chest open. Lifting up, we'll pivot on the left knee again, hands to the front of the mat, the original front of the mat. Pivoting on the left knee, set the right knee down, walk yourself back into a tabletop. Tuck the toes, back to down dog. Walk, step, or hop forwards, come into a half lift at the top of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, raise all the way up, hands overhead. Hands to heart center. From here, take the arms and held them wide out to the side. And exhale, cross right arm onto the top of the left arm, grabbing onto the shoulders. Lift the elbows as we hug the chest back. So we're trying to not bring ourselves into much of a back bend. Elbows raise as the rib cage stays back. So maybe elbows make it to the height of the shoulders, maybe up toward the chin. And we'll switch. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, cross the opposite arm on top. Again, inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, check the rib cage back. Inhale, arms wide out to the sides. Interlace hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers, or if you'd like, grab a towel or strap. And we may actually use a towel or strap again later on in our practice. So if at some point you can secure one, go ahead and do so. Opening the chest here, we'll find a bound forward fold. Hands stay holding each other or our strap or towel. Knees can bend, torso could land onto the legs. The hands release behind the back. Continue to lift them up toward the ceiling. So we're not just letting the shoulders hang toward the jaw or toward the ears, but keeping the chest open. Strength back between the shoulder blades. Inhale back up to a half lift. Release strap or towel off to the side. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Step your right leg back for warrior one. Hip points forwards. Inhale to lift up. Take the navel away from the left thigh. Both arms raise up. And cross the right arm underneath the left. Back toward eagle arms. We can keep the hands to the shoulders if you'd like, or if it's already comfortable to take that bind, go ahead. As you exhale, fold, elbows on or toward your left thigh or left knee. Inhale, lift up. If holding the arms here is uncomfortable, we can take hands to heart center instead as well. Any variation, eagle arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press the left foot to stand up. Exhale, fold toward left leg. Release the arms from whatever shape they're in. Raise all the way up, warrior one. And exhale, fold, hands down around the left foot. Move the hips back, right hip still carves forward, seeming like we're shortening the right side of the torso, bringing a bit of strength between hip and shoulder. Folding to pyramid pose. Bend back into the left knee. Take the fingertips forward. Shorten the stance so that you can really stand into the left leg. Stand up into a half warrior three. Right foot straight back behind. Rotate the knee and toes toward the floor. A little internal rotation at the leg and hip. Exhale, forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold other side. Step your left leg back to warrior one. Inhale, stand up. And from here, cross the arms. Right arm under the left. So sorry, grabbing the shoulders. Or hands to heart, or wrap again to bind. As you exhale, take the elbows toward right thigh, right knee. Inhale, lift up. Press the right foot to stand. Exhale, fold toward right leg. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Unfurl the arms, raise all the way up, warrior one. And exhale, fold, hands down around right foot. Move the hips back, sitting right hip back, left hip forward slightly. Lengthening right side of the torso. And strengthening, evening out left side of the torso. Bend back into the right knee, back heel off. Shift our stance so that we do not have to jump, but we can stand up into our half warrior three. Press the right foot down to lift the left leg up. Internally rotate through left hip, knee and toes toward the floor. And forward fold, release the left foot. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Raise all the way up, hands overhead. And hands to heart center. Shift your weight back into the left leg. Bend right knee up toward the height of the hip once again. And coming into warrior three. If we do need to land the fingers, know that we can do so. Extend the right leg back, torso forward, hinging at the hip, creating a fold between the left leg and the torso, treating it as such. Lift through the back of the right leg. Remembering the strength we had when we did our hamstring curl. Inhale, float right knee back up toward the height of the hip. And release right foot to the floor. Switch sides, please. Shift your weight into the right foot, right leg, hands to heart. Bend left knee up toward the height of the hip. And left leg back, torso forward, warrior three. Bend the left knee back up, float the knee toward the height of the hip, and release left foot back to the floor. Standing mountain pose, hands down at the sides. Inhale, arms back up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Fold, plant the hands, step your right leg back to crescent lunge. So back heel off this time. Press the left foot to stand up. Taking eagle arms, right arm underneath the left. Breathing here, hug the chest back, lift the elbows, lift the hands. If we are in eagle arms, all the way wrapped, think of pressing the pinky fingers away from you, opening the angle of the elbows. On your inhale, unfurl the arms, raise all the way back up, crescent lunge. And exhale, fold, hands down around the left foot. Inhale, left leg back to three-legged dog. And now take left knee to left elbow out to the side as we did in the beginning. Inhale, back up, three legs. This time, step the left foot outside left hand. Come down into lizard pose. Right knee lands. We can adjust where hands are, where left foot is. Right hip forwards, chest lifting. And we'll bend the right knee like we did in our kneeling lunge. Release the right toes back to the floor. Heel toe the left foot a little farther off the edge of the mat. So we're coming into a wide leg kneeling pyramid. Walk the hands back. Same idea with the hips and the sides of the torso that we did with pyramid pose. Even take the left hand, making an L shape with pointer finger and thumb. Bring it into, I'll pivot sideways here, left hip crease. Pressing the left hip back behind you. So we're not curving off to the side and forwards, but elongating back as though we're sitting left hip back. Hands can walk back inside the calf or inside the knee as you fold forwards. Bend back into the left knee, walk the left leg below the chest, back to runner's lunge. Take the right knee off the floor, left leg back to three-legged dog. Open the hips this time, left hip lifts open over the right, lifting through the outside seam of left leg. Bend the left knee to press left foot back behind you, as though we're pressing back behind right shoulder. Inhale straight back to three-legged dog. And down dog, release to breathe. Walk, step, or hop forwards, half lift at the top of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, raise all the way up, hands overhead. Adding on a goalpost, standing back bend. Take the elbows wide. Exhale, hug the navel back, open the chest. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Fold, plant the hands, step the left leg back, crescent lunge, hips forwards, back heel off. Inhale to stand up, raise the arms up overhead. Take the left arm underneath the right eagle arm. So we can, again, either take palms and elbows together, or left arm underneath the right, bring the palms together with a twist around the wrists and forearms. Lifting the hands, pressing the pinky fingers away from you. And inhale, send the arms back up, crescent lunge, lift through the hands. And fold, hands down around the right foot. Inhale, right leg back to three-legged dog. Take right knee to right elbow out to same side. Inhale, lift back up, three legs. Exhale, step right foot wide of the right hand. Let the left knee set down to lizard pose. Allow the heart to lift forwards, lifting into a back bend from the knee to the chest, not just the hip to the chest. Adding on, if you'd like, bend the left knee. Same hamstring curl we took on the other side and in our kneeling lunge. And release the left toes. Walk the right leg wider, perhaps off the edge of the mat. Move the hips back, left hip back over left knee as right knee begins to straighten, keeping it wide. Thinking of this as our wide leg kneeling pyramid, similar to our wide leg fold versus our usual forward fold. Only change as right leg is off to the side. Hips stay neutral, even with the shoulders. Bending into the right knee, walk the right leg back below the chest, coming back into runner's lunge. Hands frame the right foot. Straighten left knee off the floor. Inhale, right leg back to three-legged dog, opening the hips, raising through the outside of right knee. Right foot flexes back behind left shoulder. Inhale, straight back to three-legged dog, level hips. Down dog, release. Inhale to plank or kneeling plank. Lower all the way down. Let the body land for shoulder roll. Take the right arm out to the side, straight out, or into a goal post shape. Roll onto right hip, right side of the body. Knees can bend forwards in front of the hips, staying here on the right side, or if you'd like, plant the left footprint and start to open the left knee. Left arm could reach back behind you. Or we could keep left hand into the floor to again move into more of a gentle twist. And roll back onto the front of the body, switching sides. Left arm out, straight out, or goal post. Roll onto left hip, left side. Right limbs can reach back or stay. Rolling back onto the chest, walk elbows and forearms forwards, coming into a Sphinx pose, lifting higher than our low cobra, setting more weight into the forearms. But instead of pressing or propping with the arms, feel as though the arms are pulling back. As you feel as though the elbows are dragging back, this lifts the chest forwards. Tops of the shoulders feel like they rotate up and down into the back. Still breathing. If you'd like to, we can build higher onto the hands. We'll come back into this shape another round, so we will be able to take a second pass. And release the chest back to the floor. Take hands around rib cage. Come back into a child's pose. Wide leg if you'd like, or we can keep the shins and the upper legs toward hip width. And pressing the right palm into the floor, lift the chest, slide left arm under right shoulder for thread the needle. If you'd like, we can tent onto right fingertips, flexing right wrist toward the ceiling. This will add a little bit more extension into the shoulder. Left temple may land on the floor or release toward the floor. And slowing the breath. So we've had mostly continuous movement, a lot of ups and downs. Reconnecting to your clarity, your intention. And we'll switch sides. Take the left arm forwards, pressing the palm to the floor or fingertips. Take the right arm under left shoulder. Right temple could land. And rebuild. Please come back up onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes back to down dog. Walk the feet, hands back to meet the feet. Come into a forward fold at the back of your mat. Narrowing, words are hard, narrowing our stance slightly. Make sure feet are hip width. Hip bone, sit bone width. Sit the hips back and lift to chair pose. Raise the chest, raise the arms. If arms are uncomfortable overhead, we can sink them to heart center instead. Stand all the way up, lift the hands, straighten the knees, and take hands to heart center. Shift your weight into the left foot, left leg. Bend right knee up toward the height of the hip, coming into our figure 4 chair. Cross the right ankle over the top of the left thigh, sitting both hips back. Right knee toward the floor, chest stays lifted. Standing up, float the right knee in front of right hip. Pardon me, set your right foot back down. My phone is telling me that I'm on low power mode. It's okay, I got 20% left. Calm it down, phone. Shift your weight into the right leg. Bend the left knee up toward the height of the hip. And cross left ankle over the top of the right thigh, sitting back, figure 4 chair. Standing up, float the left knee. Release the left foot back to the floor. Inhale, arms all the way up, lift tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to half lift. Fold, plant the hands, walk the hands back out, plank or kneeling plank. And we'll lower all the way back down to the floor. Second pass at either Sphinx or, if you'd like, low cobra, higher cobra, or highest cobra. Your preference for our supported upper back bend. And release the chest back to the floor. Hands around the rib cage. Come back into a wide leg child's pose, or if you'd like to, feel free to take frog pose instead if that's a familiar pose for you. And lift back up onto hands and knees, knees below hips. Tuck the toes back to down dog. Walk, step, or hop forwards, half lift back to the top of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Raise all the way up, hands overhead. Hands to heart center. We'll come into eagle pose. So your choice, if you'd like to focus more on the legs, if the arms overcomplicate it, we can keep hands to heart, or we can take palms and elbows together. If you'd like, we can take that wrap, and it will be a specific arm and leg combo. But if you'd like, you're welcome to omit the arms. Hands to heart center to begin. Shift your weight into the left leg. Bend the right knee up toward the height of the hip. Cross the right leg over the top of the left thigh and sit back. Maybe right foot wraps back a second time. Inhale the arms wide out to the sides, and as you exhale, cross right arm underneath left arm. Again, either arm option, but lifting the elbows and pressing the hands away from you. Rib cage hugs back slightly, so we're not in too much of a back bend. There will be a slight lift in the chest. Pardon me. I'm trying to turn my head like I'm turning it away from the microphone. The microphone is attached to my head. Inhale, stand up, raise the right knee, raise the arms. Hands to heart, sink the right foot back to the floor. Shift your weight into right foot, right leg. Bend the left knee up toward the height of the hip. And cross left leg over right thigh. Maybe the left foot hooks back around the calf. Maybe it does not. Inhale the arms out to the sides. Take left arm underneath right arm, eagle arms. Lift the elbows up away from the chest. Press the hands away from the forehead. Exhales, check in with our rib flare. Trying to not have one. And as we stand up, float the arms, float the left knee. Release the left foot and the hands back down. Weight even between both feet. This would be a time to consider grabbing a strap or towel if you've not already. We'll come to the floor. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Fold, plant the hands, step back onto hands and knees. And we'll make our way into a seat with the right leg crossed in front of the left. So right shin in front of left shin. I apologize. That was a terrible cue. All right, from here, we're going to point the right elbow up toward the ceiling. Use the left hand to help guide that right elbow up. Again, same as when we were working with our eagle arms. As we lift the elbows, in this case singular elbow, rib cage stays back. So the rib cage is not following the lift of the arm, but staying held back toward the wall behind you. Staying here, if you'd like to, we could grab a strap or towel into the right hand. Careful if it does have a buckle. Point the elbow up. Left arm can reach behind the back, perhaps grabbing onto the other side or some middle portion of that strap to point right elbow up, hugging it toward the temple so it's not flaring out to the side, and pulling down just slightly with the left hand. It'll probably do it on its own and with the help of gravity. Go ahead and keep holding the strap if you have it in the right hand and release out. Switch the cross of the legs. Take the left shin in front, or if you've realized that we had the opposite cross, just take the opposite for now. It's really okay. We're not breaking any yoga rules by crossing the legs the opposite way. Pointing the left elbow up, use the right hand to help it up, and if you'd like, grab the strap or towel into the left hand so it can dangle down the back. If you'd like to, wrap the right arm behind and hold on to the opposite end of the strap or towel. Maybe it's the strap that you use to secure your rolled up mat. Maybe it's a sock you had laying nearby, a jacket, really whatever you can grab onto to increase the distance between the hands. Keep the strap into the left hand if we do have it, and let go. Release. Take the soles of the feet together. Come back to diamond pose. Let the shoulders have a little break. Hands content behind you to lift up. And then get the hip joints begin to fold forwards to shins, ankles, or maybe toes as we did in the beginning. Sitting up, please bring the left leg wide out to the side and bring the right foot inside left thigh, turning the chest gently toward the right knee so the chest is fairly in line with the inside or on top of the left leg. Left arm slides down, right arm up and over, revolved head to knee pose. Very similar shape to our kneeling pyramid pose from earlier. And sitting back up, please switch sides. Right leg wide out to the side, left foot inside right thigh. Again, turning the chest toward left knee so the chest is opening inside the line of the right leg. Right arm on or inside right leg, reaching left arm up and over. Revolved head to knee. Long stretch through whole left side of the torso, hip to hand. And please lift back up. Sinking the weight back into both hips. We have two options here. So if you'd like to, we can take figure 4 without the arms, or we can try to set up for cow face pose. So what that could look like, right leg is going to be on top, or right ankle is going to be crossed for this first side here. Point the left knee in front of you and cross the right knee on top. So we're starting to smush the knees on top of one another in line with sternum and pubic bone. Heels can wrap back toward the hips or stay a little farther forwards. This is going to be our version for cow face pose. If you'd like to, we can do the arms from before, holding onto the strap or towel in the right hand, letting it hang down the back, reaching back, walking the left hand maybe closer to the right hand than we did on the previous side or previous attempt. Lifting up here, and if you'd like, fold. If the hands bind, go ahead and let them bind. If the shoulders have had enough, or if you'd like to omit the arms, we can hang out in shoelace pose without them, or plant the left foot, come into figure 4, or come into fire log if you'd prefer that option. So, few different options here. We did aim to move toward cow face pose, but it is your practice and your choice. And sitting back up, we will switch sides. So do remember which leg is on top, which elbow is up, or which ankle is crossed if we're doing figure 4, and we will switch. So if you're in line with my lefts and rights, left leg on top of the right, smushing the top of the knees, or if you'd prefer, take figure 4 with the left ankle crossed, or fire log with the left leg on top. If you'd like, for cow face arms, we will take the strap into the left hand, letting it run down the back of the spine. Right hand maybe grabs the left hand or walks up the strap closer to left hand. Lifting tall here, or if you'd like, begin to take a fold. And sitting back up, strap can stay into the left hand, releasing from whatever variation you are in. And go ahead and come into a wide leg seat, unwrapping the legs. Wide leg seated forward fold, hands behind to lift up, hinging through hip joints. We can start to hinge, walking the hands out in front, or keep the hands behind you to help extend the chest forwards. And please sit back up, spinning so that the feet are facing the direction you'd also like them to be facing for Shavasana. We'll release all the way onto the back. Let the spine land, shoulder blades, let the head land, all the way back. Hug the knees into the chest. Take the arms out to the sides, recline twist. Please release your knees to the left if you'd like to. We can shift hips, whole pelvis to the right slightly, And then release the knees to the left. Left arm anchoring the knees. Head can turn to the right to continue the twist into the neck. And release, switch sides. Press the left hand into the ground, left arm to the ground, lift up the knees. We can shift the hips to the center or off to the left. Picking up the feet, knees over hips or navel. And release the knees to the right. Right arm can anchor the legs. Turning the head to the left. Again, shifting the hips and pelvis where they are comfortable. And pressing the right arm into the ground, take the knees back up, moving the hips back to the center of the mat. And we'll take the soles of the feet together and come down into reclined butterfly. A lot of moving the legs inward toward our eagle pose. Legs to hip width in our forward folds in chair pose. There's a lot of active strength to the inside seam of the legs in Warrior One and Crescent as well. Allow outside of the hips, outside of the knees to release toward the floor, breathing into the navel. And take the hands to the outside of the legs. Bring the legs back toward one another. Add on any additional shapes or poses you would like to feel comfortable and complete in your practice. Any additional twists, perhaps an additional round of figure four or happy baby. Complete your practice as you need. Find any additional props you'd like for Shavasana. I will come into a seat, but please rest onto your back if it is comfortable to do so. Taking your time, when you are ready, release to your preferred shape for Shavasana. Landing when you are ready. Exhales, feel where the back surface of the body lands to the floor. Softening the limbs, the hands and the feet. Aware of any unconscious tension being held in the fingers, toes, maybe the shoulders or the ankles, even the jaw. Noticing how the body feels, how your energy feels, how the breath shows up. Now, at the end of our physical practice, noting how it may have changed throughout or from the beginning. And be aware of the very center of the palm of the right hand. Aware of this space as though the breath moves in and out of this point in the hand. Feel the relaxed bowl shape of the palm and the fingers around this space. Aware of the center of right palm. How it does not move. It is not a limb that lifts up and down. It's not a joint that can bend. But you are aware of this single point in the physical body and may sense it through energetic body. Please take your same awareness to the center of the left hand, very center of the left palm, observing where the back of the hand lands into the floor. Softness around the bowl shape of the palm and the relaxed shape of the fingers. And take your awareness to the center of both palms. 2 points of awareness. Same soft, relaxed spaces in the body. No movement, no capacity to move at this space. Simply awareness. Taking this same soft awareness to the space between the eyebrows. Soft awareness of energy body, of breath body. No capacity to move, yet we can be aware of this single space, single point of awareness. Please bring this same awareness to the center of the chest, to heart center. Return to your intention, placing it at heart center. Feeling this intention throughout whole body. Gently begin to expand breath back throughout whole body. Out into the trunk of the body. Into the limbs and toward hands and feet. Bring your awareness to the tips of the fingers and the tips of the toes. Gently move the fingers and the toes. Bend the ankles and the wrists. And let the head rock from side to side. Bend the elbows. Begin to walk the feet back to hug the knees into the chest. Giving the legs a squeeze, rocking a little from side to side. Being aware of anything on either side of you, please roll to one side. Pressing your hands into the floor, coming up to a tall seat. Hands resting back onto the legs or onto the knees. And even if the hands are facing downwards, either direction, down or up, take your awareness back to the very center of both palms, the still space in the body that we can place our awareness on. We could even feel the breath at. A space that does not move, that does not twist, that does not lift or bend, can hold our attention as much as movement can. Though it may be a little more challenging, these are things that we carry with us always. Our ability to move our body, to bring our mind back in. The ability to focus on breath or on a single point. Using any of these tools on or off your mat whenever you'd like. Please bring the palms of the hands together at heart center, bowing your head to your chest, acknowledging your breath, your peace, and all that you are. Namaste. Hi guys, thanks for practicing with me today. If you'd like to see more videos, if you'd perhaps like to see more of Miko's arm being shoved under the door, I'll link a couple right here. I'll link my page. I'll link the most recent series or video. And subscribe if you'd like to let yourself know when I put out a new video. What do you think, Miko? Do you think that's a good idea? I think that's a good idea.